How's more? So come take invest. We're talking about investing, finance, and professional. It's a recording time of 11:23 a.m. on the Eastern Time. Ethereum country at $3,687, down about close to 4.5% so far. On the over crypto market, you could see clearly that in addition to crypto, equity markets also selling down as well. Right? Seems like the anti-correlation effect is not that apparent today, right? And if you look at the media affectations and just not even looking at your portfolio, right? Take that third-party bystander perspective. You see that on the media affectation front, a lot of publication companies are releasing relatively more of a negative, ominous type of news among just the entire media front today, right? And we know that perception can sometimes come through us reality, despite that's not really the case, right? And also thinking about in a more of a logical perspective, the FOMC meeting has not given us any confirmatory signal. We have not heard from Jerome yet, right? It's been just mainly driven by retail investors and even corporate investors panicking, right? Hedging against, what's going to be the outcome, the blockbuster outcome later today. That's going to happen at 2 p.m. on Eastern Time, right? So we have had 2 days of anticipatory pressure, right? Basically sell the rumor and then subsequently buy the news, hopefully, affectation, which I think that's what's going to be the case. Right now, with high uncertainty and negative news combined with the mixture of COVID Omicron news that is still up in the air, that when everybody's pointing towards the negative side of the spectrum, that inflationary pressure is going to get worse and tapering is going to get worse and et cetera, people are going to do some irrational things, right? And why is that the case? And why do I say this? Is because the lack of anti-correlation effects that we're seeing prominently on crypto versus equity today, right? We understand that based on public perception that crypto should be or has been categorized as some sort of a safe haven instrument, a vessel to hedge against the inflationary pressure, right? But despite that affectation, we still see safe haven assets to be relatively flat to down today. If you look at the gold price, silver price, obviously crypto is also another representation. That tells me that people are just freaking out, all as a whole, selling for no particular reason because of the lack of confirmatory signal, the high uncertainty, right? So if you are a logical thinker, a quantitative thinker, right, and you do not mix emotions in play, right, like I keep saying, using that third-party bystander methodology, put yourself away from that position. Like think of if you're looking into your friend's portfolio, right, or if you are like a financial manager looking into your client's portfolio, what will be the right logical steps, right? Obviously, it's painful. Like if you look at your portfolio, it's bright red today. We understand that, but is it the right time to sell because of the lack of confirmatory signal? You ask yourself that, right? For me, I would say no. I would still stay within technicals. The reason that's been working for us collectively, right, is not because we are wizards, right? It's because the technicals been coming true. So let's just dive right into the technicals right now. So respective recording time of 11:27 a.m. on Eastern Time, Ethereum country $3,706, down about 4% so far. At respect to the current level right now, we are basically hovering on a non-substantive consolidation level that we've formed. You could see clearly that we formed that on October 13th. So right now it's at the flat number at 3,700, which makes sense. But the real level that we know is basically somewhere around that 3,472, right? I think, because of the timing that we have about like an hour and 30 minutes away from the 2:30 p.m. on the Eastern Time, which is the FOMC meeting on, the commencement, I think placing your limit orders around there would be logical, but can we get that executed? I'm not so sure, right? But I think buying at the current level right now is just the right thing to do, knowing the fact that we are relatively depleted right now. But if you've been, your cash reserves already depleted, do not sell, right? Do not sell. Hold on tight because today's affectation, again, is mainly driven by emotions. And if you can allow, right, again, self-correct using your logic to overcome that emotional fear. Again, fear is not logical ever. Despite how clear it is, right? Despite how much protections you have, fear is never logical. Like think of a spider. Why are you afraid of a spider? Oh yeah, maybe it's poisonous. But some people, they're a non-poisonous spider. Why are people afraid of cockroaches? Are the cockroaches going to eat you? Why are people afraid of that? Why are people afraid of the dark? Because of the uncertainty. You know what I'm trying to say? So right now, it's just fear speaking clearly among the entire market consensus. Okay? So place your order somewhere around like 3,475 or anywhere around the current level right now is the logical dip. Bitcoin's at the 46,900 right now, so we broke below the 47,800. Makes sense, right? We're hovering around, and right now we're levitating. This is not really a platform. We have some consolidation in the past, but it's non-substantive, as we know. So as we go down, I think place your order at the 43,900 to even 40,000 would be logical, but I think 40,000 is a stretch, to be honest with you, because we are over depleted already. So to each his own. With respect to Dogecoin right now, we are selling back down for obvious reasons because of the quick hype news that we got from Mr. Musk yesterday. And right now, I would probably stay away until we come back down to more of the ideal level, the 15 at bare minimum. With respect to Cardano, we are basically at the bottom right now, the 20. So 119 is technically the bottom, right? You could see here. And we're going to bounce off of this level shortly. And do we see like 102? I would say no, probably not, because we are relatively depleted. And for us to go down, we'll be drilling oil. So I think the buying opportunity is now for Cardano. Solana is up about 2.7%. Right now, I think anywhere from 155, 133 to 113 is still the dip for us. XRP is down about 2% closely. We are hovering around like the 79, 78. I give that benefit of doubts that we're basically consolidating on a sideways fashion right now. Do we see 69? I would say possibly, but I don't think so. I think maybe bounce off that 75. That's the bare minimum because of the flat number, which we've seen here a little bit on the green candle. But I think right now it's not a terrible level to incur some risk if you want to build your position. Polkadot is down about 4% right now. We broke below the 25. Right now is basically going to the next level of consolidation of 23. I think the bottom is basically here. I don't think we're going to go further down with the 31 out of 70 right now. So I think the bottom is very near on Polkadot. Algorand's down about 2%. We're basically hovering around the 130, which is technically the bottom. So I think Algorand is basically at the bottom right now. So incurring risk right now is not terrible if you believe in this long term, knowing the fact that we're depleted right now for obvious reasons. Shiba Inu is down about 5% right now. Again, right, 2,900 to 900 still the frame I would be dollar cost averaging at. MacTech is down about close to 5% as well. As we go down to 175 to 143 is still the dip for us. AVAX is currently up about 3% right now, reversing up. And the reason is because we were very depleted, right, as we go below the 81, and we were at the 75 at one point. So anywhere from, like, again, 81 to 60 is still a good level for us to incur risk at. And with respect to some of the news, let's just take a look at the news real quick before we hop on to the recap. I'll say the news are kind of comparable to what we were looking at earlier today. The first one was basically about 30 minutes ago, talk about with respect to approximation that $800,000 of Ethereum is burnt every 60 minutes. So that's the burn rates that we're having. And as we burn more, right, with more utilization, etc., the translations into the price will technically escalate going forward. That's just basic supply and demand logics. So that's interesting to see, about close to 1 million of Ethereum is burnt every 1 hour. The next one is talking about with respect to CNBC. It's like a survey that they have done recently with respect to millennial and Gen Z are planning to spend thousands on crypto, NFT, and metaverse as holiday gifts this year. So quite interesting that we're seeing NFT as a form of Christmas gifts this year. Not bad if someone gave me something like that. but I don't know if I have any Christmas gift this year beside my parents or my sister. And then that's pretty much it on the news front. That's relatively stale that we have talked about this morning already. So respect to risk management level, these are levels to dollar cost average at. We are within a lot of the logical level to incur risk already. Ultimately, I am feeling the pain just as you are, right? I am, down quite a lot on the paper perspective, right? It's paper loss, not real loss. You will only lose if you sell for show, right? For show, I said for show, for sure. So think logically, think in that third party bystander perspective. What would you do, right? It's not logical with your fear, just selling because of your fear, right? We don't have any confirmatory signal from Jerome yet. And again, I don't think he wants to be the a-hole. I don't think he wants to be that guy that everybody will hate on around Christmas holidays time period, right? And he's a political figure, also diplomatic based on his verbiage. And I think we are going to be have some more of an optimistic verbiage from him. Again, right, he's a leader. He's supposed to motivate, not worsening, right? He's not a totalitarian. Based on what I've heard so far, I don't think that's the type of character he is. Okay? So stay strong, hold tight, and sustain your emotions and allow logic to take place for you. All right, so that's it for today. Not today. Probably post another time if there are new development coming. But stay tuned for come up. Take care. Bye.